The broad vision of How May I Serve You? It's based on the story from ancient scriptures, modern thinkers and writers, best of the world-class service-oriented vision for deriving strategic priorities, both spiritual and materialistic. Who is a customer or service provider? Gandhiji said, a customer is the most important visitor on our premises. He is not dependent on us. We are dependent on him. He is not an interruption in our work. He is the purpose of it. He is not an outsider in our business. He is part of it. We are not doing him a favor by serving him. He is doing us a favor by giving us an opportunity to do so. So, what exactly is right now the customer? In today's social media driven life, a customer is customer still a king? Oh, well, it's actually a question that has to be answered. So if you see Ola, Uber, and vehicle aggregators, they provide you a feedback or rating for the customers and passengers. The driver has to provide the rating to the customer after the ride is over, and based on the rating, the customer's future requests are honored. Interesting, isn't it? The customers who were thought to be the king have become a mere mortal. The customer service provider and manufacturer came it at same level. In fact, based on rating, they will be serviced. So this seems fair to some point. However, this rating gets into an tangle when rating are provided by service provider or the manufacturer, and the rating is based on the monetary side. So for example, the same Uber and Ola does have the tip option in the app. The tip is on top of the cost and it can be given to the provider as cash too. When you tip the service provider, he or she will provide 5 star for the customer. If the customer feels there is nothing amazing in the ride and did not tip, it may have a negative impact on the rating. So tip itself is a negative motivator for general performance. When cost is associated for travel, what else is needed to be tipped the service provider? We live in a social media managed lifestyles. The likes, shares, downloads, comments of unknown are more important to the lifestyle. If the rating of service provider is part of the social, we the customers may take it seriously and be generous with the tip to make us look good. Is this what the customer is king all about? Well, there is an app. It's called Lyft. It's again vehicle data aggregation, which did a smart move on these kinds of rating. The driver or service provider has to rate the customer before any transaction happens, which will at least make the rating unbiased. But then, why the service provider will rate the customer even before the service? If these kind of ratings are continuous, the notion of customer is king would reverse like to customer is a beggar. But do you see clarity in here? Everything is revolving on two things. Number one, customer centric approach. Number two, service provider approach. So I would bring forth some insights from the past and will discuss about the mindset creation or approach which focuses on that how individual or company people can have the customer service oriented approach or vision. This is a story from Vedas. Vidhayak Suvrat and the king Chitraketu. It's a Chitraketu. King Chitraketu was above around 50 and he did not have any children. He was worried about who to make a successor. For that, he organized hunting and invited all the warriors in it. For a peasant named Subrat used to accompany the king to serve his needs during the journey and in hunting ground. This Subrat, when was a child, he learned from his gurus and took an oath. It's a kind of commitment, or you say vrat in Sanskrit, that he will always be positive in any situation, what may come in his life. That's why his name was Subrat, and that his thinking pattern will always be constructive. He, by heart, dedicated towards his thought, and that's why people started calling him Vidhayak Subrat, means the person who has taken the oath. So Subrat also developed another quality over the period of time to take things as it is and keep detached, and upon any incident used to say whatever is happening it is for good. So the king Subrat and all warriors went for hunting. Suddenly a lion attacked and the king and lion bite the king's thumb. The king was in too much pain. Everyone was worried and Subrat came there. And like his peculiarity, he said in Sanskrit, Rajan, Ishvara Icha Baliyasi. King, don't worry. Whatever happens, happens for good. The king was already worried and in tension about his kingdom and that he didn't have any child, and he organized this event of hunting for the same. And now this happened. The king got very angry and he said to put Subrat in jail. What was good in this? Said the king, and Subrat went to jail. After a few months, the king again wanted to go for hunting, but this time he decided that he will go alone. Alone in the forest, he lost the path. He reached near some tribal area in the deep forest and valleys, and that time there was some yagna. It's a rite actually, was being performed by the tribals, and they were looking for a male sacrifice. So the tribal saw the king, made him captain, took him near the Yagnakund to perform the rite. The Purohit, the priest, observed the king and said it cannot be sacrificed. Reason being, this man is not intact and is fragmented, and he don't have a thumb. And the king was released from captive to go free. When the king returned, he remembered Suvrat, because Suvrat said that whatever happens is for good. He lost the thumb, but that saved his life. So next day, Suvrat was released from the jail, and the king thanked him and said, "You were right." Then Suvrat replied and said, "No, I also wanted to thank you because both of us are alive and will live." The king said, "How?" Suvrat said, "If you would not have put me in jail, then I would have followed you and been with you, and my thumb is all right." The king was happy. Everyone appreciated, and king made him the next king of his kingdom. This story gives answers to many questions. Do positive thinking patterns benefit? The story answers yes, definitely. This positive thinking pattern is named in scriptures as Vidhayak Drishtikon, the life and its acts seeing angle or vision of Vidhayak Subrat, or the wealthy mindset, or Shriman, the mindset like Shri, the other name of Vishnu. So 90% of the question comes with the word Shriman, wealthy mindset, vision, how we can attract wealth, and we will find the answer of this question in continuation. How may I serve you? That's Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. Famous author and speaker Dr. Wayne Dyer has written an amazing book named There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem. Dr. Wayne Dyer has given a statement: we usually say to universe that I want fame or I want relationship or money. Instead of asking I want this or I want that, we should tell the universe, how may I serve you? As soon as you ask universe, how may I serve you? The universe will ask you the same, how may I serve you? And universe will give you whatever you want. So you can go through Google about Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. He has written a book. There's a spiritual solution to every problem. Actually, the first part of the book provides the essential foundation for spiritual problem solving, drawing the wisdom from ancient Vedic scriptures from Patanjali, yogic mystic, who actually wrote a lot of yogas and stances. The second half focuses on the legacy of the Saint Francis. So Dyer offers some, practical applications from applying those teachings. Well, we move to the Vishnu element, wealthy mindset and vision. Now the interesting thing is in this trinity known as Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesha, Shiva, well, Vishnu has the energy of upbringing, nourishment and serving. So as soon as you ask universe, how may I serve you, you enter in the energy of Vishnu. And as you enter, you get Lakshmi, that's wealth and abundance. So in Puranas, ancient scriptures, we learn Lakshmi stays with Vishnu. She is the energy form, which is just the other half of Vishnu and inseparable. And so instead of going after the wealth, one should envisage Vishnu within. Lakshmi, the abundance follows. Now this gives an inference of what should the point be of focus and vision. You know, so entering into the energy of Vishnu is called wealthy mindset creation. As soon as wealthy mindset is created, wealth will come automatically. There is a detailed discussion about this in Mahabharata and Bhagavata Purana, and how and why the goddess Lakshmi chose Vishnu and not other gods and demons, and when she was born, and later has to decide the partner with whom she will marry. So she observes the quality and demerits of each god and chose Vishnu. There is a verse on this incident in Sri Bhagavata Purana. The verse meaning says, I would like to choose a person who has many good qualities, who has wealthy mindset. And the word given is Sumangala for wealthy mindset and aura. Mangala means Mars in our literal terms, and Mangala is also denotes the courage, the masculinity, I would say the force, the energy that actually drives you for the positiveness, and that means someone who is not trying to achieve me. So she says that the person who is not trying to achieve me, who does not run behind me, who appreciates the quality, I would always stay with him and serve that person. What a metaphor, a symbolic message hidden in this ancient text. which says if you want Lakshmi, that's the abundance, be like a Vishnu. So, like attracts like. Question comes here, how to be Vishnu? What is meaning of Vishnu? Vishnu word came from the word Vish, metal of Sanskrit language. That means to enter or to expand. And Anu means atom or the smallest molecule or God particle which is within all. The scriptures describe like in Vishnu Purana, the one who is in entire world and is the world. He is in everyone and works for everyone. That's why that one is Vishnu. Adi Sankaracharya, in one of the texts, he says, someone who is comprehensive, someone who thinks about everyone, whose vision is broad, someone who thinks globally and does not just think about himself, is Vishnu. Observe your surrounding. Observe people and companies driving wealth generation. Companies like Facebook, Google, Reliance, Tata, Infosys does not think about their individual benefits only. They think about how they can create sustainable impact or change lives of each human on earth. Their vision is much broad. Their thinking is universal and attracts abundance and is commercial yet. Their vision is developed to impact globally. So, global mindset, broad vision, is mentioned as Vishnu or wealthy mindset in Shastras, the scriptures and the books of knowledge. As soon as we activate that mindset, the abundance follows. This is what philosophers of law of attraction say, like attracts like. Wealthy mindset attracts wealth. And in the end, I would like to just share which is mentioned in the scriptures about the wealth generation and stability in brief. Let's see the verse. It means abundance comes from wealthy mindset. It grows from intelligence and knowledge, stops with growing skills, stays with control, grit, and perseverance. May wealthy mindset develop in you. Don't only think that about yourself, rather ask the universe, how may I help you? And the universe will say, how may I serve you? Thank you.